Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, am I living the way I should? Or am I just letting life drag me around, powerless and unnoticed? It's a haunting question, isn't it? Because deep down, every one of us fears being seen as weak, unworthy, or worse, pathetic. But here's the thing, what people call pathetic is rarely about your circumstances. It's about your attitude, your choices, and the way you carry yourself in love, in work, and in life. And today, I want to give you a comprehensive guide on how not to be pathetic. Because once you understand this, it can change not only how the world sees you, but how your relationships evolve, how people respect you, and even how your love life transforms. So before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and most importantly, stay with me until the end of this video, because I promise, the shift you'll feel after watching will be one of those rare things that stays with you forever. Step 1. Stop begging for attention. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, let's call him Daniel, was madly in love with a girl he met at work. Every day he would text her, compliment her, bring her little things just to make her smile. But here's the tragedy. The more he chased, the colder she became. You see, the moment you beg for someone's attention, you hand over your dignity. You make their validation your oxygen, and that is the very definition of pathetic. Think about it. When was the last time you respected someone who was constantly at your feet, desperate for your approval? You didn't. You may have pitied them, but pity is poison in relationships. If you want to avoid being pathetic, you must learn to give attention, but not need it. Show interest, but don't base your worth on someone else's response. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When your thoughts are rooted in self-respect, you'll stop crawling for scraps of attention and start radiating confidence that naturally draws people in. Step 2, don't play the victim. Life is unfair. People betray, bosses overlook your hard work, relationships collapse without warning. But here's the harsh truth. Staying stuck in victimhood is the fastest way to become pathetic. Let me paint this picture. Imagine two men get fired from the same job. The first one spends weeks complaining, telling everyone how unfair it was, how nobody appreciated him. The second man, he feels the pain too, but he asks, what can I control right now? He updates his resume, networks, learns new skills. A year later, he's thriving, while the first man is still bitter, still blaming, still pathetic. Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." If you hold on to the mindset of being wronged, you're not only reliving the pain, you're chaining yourself to it. The antidote? Radical ownership. Own your failures, own your pain, own your next move. That shift alone will turn you from a passive victim into someone powerful, someone impossible to pity. Step 3, stop over-apologizing. Here's something subtle yet devastating. The word sorry. Of course, apologies are important when we've genuinely hurt someone, but too many people walk through life apologizing for their existence. Sorry I texted you. Sorry I asked for help. Sorry I spoke up. This constant self-erasure screams insecurity. It tells people, I don't believe I deserve space in this world. Now imagine this in your love life. If every message you send is drenched in apology, you don't come across as kind, you come across as weak. And weakness, my friend, is magnetic to those who would use you, and repulsive to those who would love you. Instead, reserve your apologies for when they truly matter, and replace the rest with confidence. Don't say sorry for bothering you and say thanks for your time. Small shifts in language change how people perceive you and how you perceive yourself. Step 4, don't cling, choose detachment. Let me share another story. A man named Joseph was terrified of losing his girlfriend. Every time she went out with friends, he blew up her phone. He checked her social media, demanded reassurance daily, and constantly feared abandonment. What happened? She left him because nobody wants to be suffocated. Clinging is pathetic. It says, without you, I am nothing. But here's a liberating truth the Stoics understood. You don't own people. You only borrow time with them. Epictetus put it beautifully. Don't seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do. That doesn't mean you don't love deeply. It means you love without chains. Detachment isn't coldness. It's strength. It tells your partner, I choose you, but I don't need to grip you with fear. I am whole even when I stand alone. That energy is irresistible. It transforms your love life from desperation into respect. Step 5. Build competence, not excuses. Nothing is more pathetic than hiding behind excuses. I could have done better if I would have tried harder, but I never got the chance because excuses are comfortable. They let you avoid responsibility. But competence is where dignity lives. Think of someone who is skilled, capable, and reliable. They don't need to boast. They don't need to beg. Their very presence commands respect. And here's the beauty. Competence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Every hour you invest in your craft, every book you read, every skill you sharpen pulls you further from pathetic and closer to powerful. Seneca once wrote, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." If you don't want to be pathetic, stop waiting for luck, start preparing for it. Step 6, don't be ruled by emotion. Picture this, someone cuts you off in traffic. You explode, honk like a maniac, maybe even follow them to yell. In that moment, who's in control, you or your rage? Being ruled by emotion is pathetic because it shows you can be puppeteered by anyone who pushes your buttons. The Stoics called this slavery of the soul. Instead, the art is in pausing. Marcus Aurelius taught, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. When you master your emotions, you stop being pathetic because nobody can pull your strings. You choose your response. You hold your dignity, and people around you sense that power. It's the calm in the storm that makes others lean in. Step 7. Don't live without purpose. Here's the darkest form of pathetic: drifting, waking up with no goal, no direction, just letting days blur into each other. Why is this tragic? Because when you lack purpose, you become easy to control. Society tells you what to buy. Lovers tell you who to be. Employers tell you your worth. And you accept it because you don't have an anchor of your own. But purpose, even a small one, changes everything. It gives your energy direction. It turns your no into power and your yes into meaning. Ask yourself, what am I building? Who am I becoming? Write it down. Commit to it. Because the man or woman with a purpose is impossible to pity. They are on a path, and that alone demands respect. Step 8. Guard your self-respect above all. At the core of not being pathetic is this: self-respect. If you don't respect yourself, every other point collapses. You'll beg for attention, play the victim, cling, over-apologize, and live without purpose. But when you respect yourself, you naturally set boundaries. You walk away when you're disrespected. You don't sell your dignity for cheap approval. Self-respect is quiet but powerful. It's not arrogance, it's knowing your value and refusing to discount it. And when people see that, they treat you differently. They can't help it. Because here's the truth: the way you treat yourself teaches the world how to treat you. So let's wrap this up. Being pathetic isn't about having little money, facing hardship, or struggling in life. No, those things can happen to anyone. Being pathetic is about surrendering your self-respect, begging for scraps of attention, blaming the world, and refusing to grow. But you now know how to break that cycle. Stop begging. Stop playing victim. Stop clinging. Build competence. Master your emotions. Live with purpose. And above all, protect your self-respect. Do this, and not only will people treat you differently, but your love life, your friendships, and your entire sense of self will transform. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.